Hiya, it's Pal here from Pal Escapes, and today I've kind of been challenged to do this video, which is why I'm doing it with slightly bags under my eyes because I kind of need a rest now. But I was talking to a friend and talking about doing this video, and an idea sort of came to me. Now I think it's 7th of January, so everyone's taken their Christmas trees down. Mine is still up. It's a real tree, and it's the first time I've had a real tree in like 20 years. So I made the command decision to keep it up until it basically becomes a stick when all the leaves fall off. And that's my decision. Some people think it's bad luck, but I don't believe in bad luck, so that's okay. And I really love my little tree because it's given me a chance to put my decorations up. And I love these little ones that I got ages and ages ago. And I love all the trees in my family. All my mum, my sisters, my grandma's trees. They've got all these lovely decorations that we've had for generations. Things we made when we were little kids and things like that. And it's really nice. But I like having my own decorations up. It makes me feel very happy. And so this, although I'm talking about decorations, the idea behind this little video is actually about gifts. And, you could think it's very superficial, Christmas gifts. But actually, even in the Bible story of Jesus, the gifts were quite important that the three wise men brought. And this kind of comes about a little bit, a lot of the different things I'm talking to people about have come together in this concept, this idea about gifts. And Don Miguel Ruiz wrote this challenge question on his Instagram the other day, which was, how do you practice not taking things personally? Which is one of the 4 agreements. And I highly recommend reading that book. And when he said that, I took a moment to think about it because I do try to practice the 4 agreements. And, well, actually I do practice because doing my best is one of them. So even if I get it wrong, I'm still practicing it. But he said, how do you practice the agreement of don't take anything personally? And I really had to think about it because a lot of that is it's become sort of almost second nature because I've been practicing it for quite a while and I use that agreement all the time to remind me. But I've sort of internalized a lot of the practices and the ways of living that make that agreement easier. And so I had to think about it a while, and actually it really comes down to, the thing about Christmas, which is to have encounters with other people from a place of really having and not from a place of neediness. And, it's even as much as being aware of, whose house can I go to and get a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and whose house maybe I need to go and have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or a lunch before I walk into that space because of just the way that they are and the way that I am. And not expecting other people to always be aware of or being able to handle my needs. And it sounds a bit weird, really, when I say that, but Don Miguel Ruiz says another thing, which is he was talking about Santa Claus and how we are brought up, especially in cultures where we love Father Christmas. We are brought up to believe that the good kids get presents and the bad kids get coal. But we also know that, unfortunately, a lot of really perfect, good, beautiful children don't get what they deserve at Christmas. And they may not get anything at all. They may have a pretty horrible Christmas, actually. And maybe that's why I'm doing this like this after Christmas, because I don't want to put a down on it. But sadly, it's true. And some of us have been those children that didn't get what we hoped for or expected and were quite disappointed. And that's really hard. It's hard, very often on families that can't afford the presents that their children want. And but one of the things that's important about that is recognizing that if we don't get what we want, it doesn't make us a bad kid. That's not what it's about. But that belief that we get because we are good can make us feel very bad when we don't get. Does that make sense? Anyway, I wanted to show you what my Christmas, this is a really good example. We did a Secret Santa with my family. And so when I opened my present, because we've got one present from each other, I didn't have high expectations because, very often we get at Christmas, we get quite sort of generic things, and we get, because I'm trying to be vegan, I often get like vegan stuff. Sometimes it's really amazing, and sometimes it's just like, well, you should like this because it's a vegan thing. That's your sort of label. If you're into something, if you're into hobbies, sometimes people will give you something. But we say it's a thought that counts. Anyway, this is what I got from my Secret Santa. So I want to show you that. And I was so excited when I opened these trainers because I exactly needed a pair of trainers. And I was just so happy that I got these trainers. And even better, I have the receipt because they're not the right size. So, I got exactly what I needed and I wanted, but I still have to exchange them. Anyway, but on Christmas morning, under this beautiful tree, I had a box that I had prepared for myself earlier on Black Friday when I ordered myself some Zumba wear. Because being a Zumba instructor, I get a discount. It's a great sale, and I ordered a whole lot of stuff. And then as it got closer to Christmas, I thought, you know what, I'm going to wait till Christmas morning. So, Christmas morning, what did I buy for myself? What did I get? And I was still excited because I hadn't seen it yet. These! A different pair of trainers. And I was so excited to get the ones that didn't fit because I knew that I had other ones coming to me as well. So I'd kind of taken care of my own needs. And so when I got the other ones, I was just so happy. I was so appreciative that somebody had got me exactly what I would got for myself. And it's fine. It's really good because even though they don't fit, it means the world to me that somebody, got me something so close to what I really, what would actually fit my feet. And I think there are times in life when it's so amazing when somebody comes through for us and delivers exactly what we do need. And it's so amazing when somebody gives us that kind of gift. But if they don't, it doesn't mean that they're a terrible person. And it doesn't mean that we're a terrible person either. And that's really one of the things that this video is about. The other thing is, I was talking to a friend, coach, and she was saying, we were talking about, my next steps. And what we were really talking about is kind of, why am I making things so hard for myself? Why am I making something that's so easy and something that's kind of already been given to me so difficult? And the reason, I think, one of the reasons is that it's very hard for us sometimes to believe in our gifts, the gifts that we've been given naturally, because we sort of weren't around when they were given, And it's a bit like, we think about the Bible story, you think about Jesus and you think about when he was born, and the special stuff was in him. It was part of who he was as a gift, and he was the gift to the world. And I think that we all are a gift to the world if and when we are true to our real nature and who we are. But I think that one of the challenges that I find is, and I see this very often for myself in publishing, and I work with other writers, and there's in all types of art form, one of the big challenges for writers is if you didn't get a publishing deal, you're not good enough. And that's a big lie, because almost all of the self-published authors that I know have had book deals, but then walked away from them because they thought it was a big deal to get their book deal. But then when they got it, they realised it wasn't right for them. It wasn't respectful of what they were actually trying to do and trying to give. And they really needed to kind of create their own business, their own team, their own way of publishing. But I think very often if we don't get that seal of approval, and I talk about this in my new book about fear of success, and I've talked about this before, it's like the Wizard of Oz. You know, we want the diploma, we want the certificate, we want the medal to prove that we're brave. And yet most of us, in terms of like, you know, times that we've been truly brave, I was going to say we don't have anything, but the truth is, like for me, what I have is a really big scar. So sometimes, you know, that's what we have. That's the proof of our bravery, is the scar. The proof of our ability as writers is the book. The proof of what we've done is not in, the proof of our gifts is not in something that sits in a box under a tree. It's something that we already gave away. And I feel quite emotional because it's bringing me to the place of talking about giving away a kidney. And, you know, that was a pretty special thing that I did, to give a kidney away. And, you know, when we write and we publish books, we give them to the world. And when I was teaching Zumba classes, you know, those things existed for a moment. And, you know, the benefit and the proof and the living benefit that carries on of those is actually in the people who were there, you know, in that little bit of exercise or that story or that connection or that period of time that we were friends and we were buddies and we helped each other through things. And so, you know, sometimes we're looking outside of ourselves for permission, for approval, for reward. And so I hope that this talk, this video is helpful to you, because it's really speaking to whoever is out there like me, who is having a moment, you know, maybe the new year, of trying to figure things out. And knowing, just really having faith in the fact that what we do and what we have done has brought us to this moment, and so is perfect. And that the challenges that we have faced are a perfect gift. And that everything that's happened to us or in our lives has really been for us. And that what we have gained from those moments of challenge and what we have gained from those difficulties is really beyond a price. It really is beyond a price. But that we have to, I believe that we have to keep giving to ourselves. You know, we have to keep giving ourselves permission. And we have to keep cheerleading ourselves sometimes, even though there's some amazing cheerleaders out there. And I think we have to keep believing that even though sometimes we can't see the benefit of what we're doing, and when I was teaching, you know, I could see the people in front of me and it was great. And when I first started writing, I got a lot of great feedback from people. But very often now when I'm doing stuff, I don't see what's going on. I don't see what happens after somebody hears a video or reads a book, or after I just say good morning to somebody and make them smile on the street. But just to believe that it's worth continuing to share our gift. It's worth continuing to put love, and it's all love in the end, to keep putting it out there. Anyway, I'm going to stop now because we're nearly 15 minutes. That's quite a long one. And if I didn't say it before, Happy Christmas. I hope you get everything your heart desires, and more importantly, everything that your heart needs. Lots of love, pal.